Been 6 months of wandering around in these bloody swamps. I'm cold, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I've forgotten my name. 6 months of optimizing, of modding, trying to get over 60 FPS while the game still looks nice. 6 months of getting frustrated with AI, uninstalling, reinstalling, uninstalling again. The good news is, as of today, patch 1.4, the Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl is upon us, and it's a bloody perler. So what does patch 1.4 contain, you might ask? Well, we're going to go over the patch notes. Now keep in mind this is an early draft, so they may be different at the time of you watching this video, but we're going to go over them anyway. Persistent A-life. Stalkers are now living their long, happy lives, unless they meet their end in the zone as a result of their actions outside of the player's view. What this essentially means is that all AI entities in the game will have their own life. They will have actions they do throughout their day, and they may die as a result of those actions, whether you're near them or not, which is really cool. It makes you feel like you're a part of the world rather than the only person in the world. You may have heard of people talking about online and offline when it comes to AI. Online is the actions that you can see in front of you, the actions that happen in a radius around your character. Offline is the actions that happen outside that radius. And previously that wasn't happening really at all, and now it is. So we are a lot closer to a fully functioning A-life system, similar to how we have it in the original games. This is really awesome in my opinion. It's one of the major things I've been waiting for to happen before I fully commit to a playthrough of the game. Mutants can now use their corpse eating animation if there is dead bodies nearby. This is awesome. It's just one of those things that adds to the immersion. You know, you come across a group of mutants, you can hear chewing noises, and they're eating a corpse, whether it's a stalker or another animal. And they now have an alert state if something is happening near or approaching them. And yes, they do move in herds now, and they will circle you and eat you. So stay frosty, stalkers. Stay frosty. Right, next. Improvements to human combat. Numerous bugs have been fixed and problems with cover usage for NPCs. Now they need to properly use available covers, always trying to hide before shooting, and don't rush forward when not needed. Characters will now use trees as covers. This is bloody awesome. And they've updated combat and cover animations to look more fluent and fast. There's going to be improved flanking, pathfinding, and transition to close combat. Close combat basically has now become more dangerous and tougher on both veteran and stalker difficulties. Easy is unchanged. They have fixed communication and action systems, synchronization between characters in the squad. Characters now more clearly communicate tactical actions and reactions in combat. Human characters now throw grenades when they want to flush out the target. It's not on a timed cooldown like it was previously. Squads now have a finite amount of grenades depending on their rank and faction. Bandits, however, have significantly less than the military. This is bloody awesome because I hate those fucking grenades. Human characters are able to attack mutants in melee. They can use kick melee attacks against smaller mutants. Human characters can kick players who are crouched. Hopefully that means we also have a kick animation now. I'm not too sure about this, but it will be clarified in time. Human characters will now look around for a brief moment, searching for enemies after combat ends, then proceed to post-combat activities like looting and healing wounded. This is a good one. Humans are no longer able to snipe with shotguns. They've fixed problems with pellet dispersion and non-natural ballistic distances. This is all bloody good stuff. It basically means AI are going to be smarter, they're going to be harder to fight, but it's also going to be more realistic. They have increased the number of generic heads for NPC randomization. It basically means AI are going to look different now. You won't see the same face as often, which is really good. Now this is a good one. The bearer can now use his telekinetic abilities to catch and throw grenades. Yeah, you're basically fucked now, trying to fight those little buggers. Improved weapon stat displaying in inventory, updated weapon stat bars and their calculation logic. Added a new weapon stat, handling. This basically brings weapon stats in line with older games and mods you might be familiar with, where it's just going to make more sense. It's going to be much easier to compare weapon stats and choose the weapon that is best suited for the task you're going to go do. Now, there's a whole heap of other AI and combat fixes that directly relate to the things we've already talked about, in particular offline AI behavior, but I will leave that for you to read in the patch notes. It's quite detailed, there's quite a bit here. Technical updates. Improved pathing for NPCs. Minor polishment and improvement for scripted NPC animations. Human characters that turn on flashlights are now slightly more illuminated and visible in the dark. Improved sound obstruction for grenades thrown outside from indoors location. Added a new emission shelter in the chemical plant's dining room. Added a mission shelter to the technician room at Ranger Station, Backwater region. Improved facial animations and realism. Improved impact sounds for the bolt. Removed redundant blur effect on players' vitals stat panel during trade. Added players' vitals stat panel in the trade menu. Added new death animations and sound effects for electricity, acid, bullet, rat bites, damage. Now, there is a whole heap of fixes for main and side quest and open world encounters. I'm going to leave that up to you to read, because there is a lot of spoilers here, and there's just a lot of stuff to read, and I'm not going to put it in the video. You can read it yourself. And lastly, I'm going to read some balance changes. The RPM 7.4 has increased armor piercing value. Explosions now cause more damage on high rank targets. Increased RPG damage. Decreased lethal distance for grenades. Increased concussion distance for RPG. Added some silencers into stashes. Added cause possibility to upgrade Zircon's suit. Fixed an issue where the player was able to install physical protection upgrades twice for the PSZ-9i Falcon armor. Rebalanced stashes in the Zaton region. Improved regeneration and spawn of random anomalies after the mission. Actually, I tell a lie, there is one more thing, a very important thing that most of you have probably been wanting. There's been a lot of performance improvements. The optimization of light and shadows in multiple regions has been improved. You won't get so much flickering now and differences in light in certain areas. Improved LODs for grass in multiple regions. Performance optimization for the light garland at the 100 rads bar. Very nice. And some under the hood CPU performance and optimization tweaks were made, but they're not really letting on what that is. I'm personally finding my FPS is around 5 FPS lower, but it's more consistent and stable. So when you go into NPC areas, it doesn't drop as much. I'm finding an overall, like, it just feels more stable and smooth. And that's what we want, don't we? And that's it. That's all I've got to say on these patch notes. You can read the rest yourself. Regardless of the issues, I actually still love the game. I, like I said, haven't been playing it, but I am starting to play it a lot more. I have been playing it every day for the last week, which is a lot more than I've played the last 2 months. To be honest, my feelings about the game have been stopping me from releasing any content about it. I have made a number of videos and deleted them, re-edited them, changed them, and they just haven't come out the way I wanted. It's actually been the toughest time I've had since I started this content creation journey, but we're through all that now. We'll cut all that soppy stuff and look forward to the future, and it's looking bright for this game. I'm actually starting to get excited again. It's really starting to feel like Shadow of Chernobyl for me, and that's really cool. And with that being said, I'll see you later and have a nice life.